Hello, welcome back. We're talking about logistic regression. And if this is the first time you're watching this series of videos, we're into effect modifiers, right? So you might be here specifically to learn about effect modifiers. In other words, if that's the case, welcome. We'll get into that right now. If you know nothing about logistic regression and you've landed up on this video, you need to go back to the beginning of the series. It's on a playlist. And you need to watch from the beginning because we'll catch you up real quick and you'll be a super duper expert before you know it. If you're watching my video content for the first time, by the way, you can access everything that's on the screen at the moment. There'll be a link on a card at the end of the video that you can click on and it'll give you access to this page here that you can see. On this page, all of the code that I use is available and you can cut and paste it straight into RStudio. There's also these little annotations that you can click on or just hover over and it'll explain the code as you go along. And incidentally, all of this data that I use is from the ML Bench dataset package. So if you install packages ML Bench, then you get access to this dataset over here and you can replicate everything I do at home. It's the best way to learn. Okay, enough said. Let's jump right into effect modifiers. On this YouTube channel, we're creating R programming videos on everything. We already said this confounding effect that people that are older have higher glucose and that there's an element of confounding. And I'm not going to re-explain what confounding is. You go back and watch the previous video if you want to understand that. And of course that affects our results. We need to adjust, well, the model adjusts for that. But now, as well as older people having higher glucose, might it be possible that being older, you might have a slightly different physiology? And the effect of glucose on the risk of diabetes. And by the way, sorry, I didn't say this. By the way, my apologies. We're talking about logistic regression. So let me just in 30 seconds say what that is, right? You've got an outcome variable, which is always binary. And you've got predictor variables, in this case, glucose, for which there's some sort of relationship. So as things, as glucose goes up, probability of diabetes goes up. In this data set, we're looking at diabetes is the outcome variable, yes or no, blah, 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 and a whole lot of predictor variables. And I'm now talking about glucose and age. So sorry, I should have said that right in the beginning, but most of you have been watching the series, so that'll stand to reason. Now, imagine that that as you get older, your actual physiology changes. So not only do older people have more glucose or high likelihood of having glucose, but the way your body uses glucose or metabolizes it, or your physiology changes in such a way that the effect of glucose on your risk of diabetes changes as well. Okay, and in other words, it modifies the effect. So the older you get, you have a different relationship between glucose and diabetes. Okay, so we can test that. That's the beauty of a logistic regression model. We can ask that question. Now remember, when we wanted to add age to our model, we said plus age. We said glucose plus age, and it added age. If we say times age, it's going to both look at adding age, but it's also going to add an extra term, and we can see it down here. And this is an interaction term. What is the interaction between glucose and age? It adds that in and gives us an estimate for that. Now, the first thing that we look at is it statistically significant? Yes, it is. All right, so that's interesting. In which direction is it? Ooh, it's negative. That's also interesting. It's a small number, but it is negative. So as you get older, the effect that glucose has on the likelihood that you get diabetes becomes smaller. Interesting. So we've learned something. Now, do we include this in our model or not? Well, at this stage we do, because the residual deviance has gone down and the AIC has gone down. And I'm not going to go back and show you the other numbers. Just trust me, these are lower. So at this point in our modeling, it seems that this is a good interaction term to include in our model. Now, the model's not complete, so that might change, and we'll have a look at that down the line. But there we go. That's effect modification. So if you click on the link on the screen at the moment, that'll give you access to this page, all the code, and the relevant annotations. Hope you're doing well. Don't ever change. Don't do drugs. Always do your best. Boom shakalaka. Speak to you soon. Bye.